5 most hated designer fragrances of all time. All of these are marketed for men. There's a reason why these fragrances are being disliked at such a passionate level with such fervor and such verve. I mean, there's a lot of people within the community that for whatever reason are just not hopping on the bandwagon of enjoying these fragrances. A lot of people dislike them. I'll let you know what they are and why people dislike them, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I tell you about these 5 most hated men's fragrances, why people dislike them, what people have against them, and why, for whatever reason, they're not being welcomed with open arms. And I'll also give you my personal opinion because a couple of these I really like. I want to start the video off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, and of course, if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would really, really mean a lot to me. So for whatever reason, these fragrances are disliked. And a lot of it might have to do with the bottle presentation. It might have to do with the price. It might have to do with their popularity. You know, a lot of these perfumes are a victim of their own success. Once a thing becomes super, super popular, then it's kind of trendy to hate on it. And a lot of these might also be hated because of reformulations or because they don't last very long. And anyway, I'll get into each reason for each one of these 5 fragrances as I reveal them. So for the first one, or I suppose in the number 5 spot, this one is Sauvage Eau Forte. So this is a brand new fragrance. And of course, you know, this is and I'm going to be honest with you, right? This is a mass appealing DNA. It is. Whether people want to admit that or not, whether they want to agree to that or not, it's a mass appealing DNA. I think it has elemi resin. There's citrus in the opening. It is a little peppery as well. And it's composed by Francis Kurkdjian. So what's the deal with this one? Why do people hate this one so much? Well, it's a water-based formula. People are so hung up on that. They can't get over that. A lot of people think this is the very first water-based fragrance on the market. It's not. This concept has been around for a very long time. There are brands like Xerjoff that are manufacturing water-based formulas. Nautica even preceded and predated the water-based concept before Dior. So there are a lot of other brands that are utilizing this formula. What a lot of people think is that because it's water-based, it's not going to last as long. That's not true, but because it's water-based, the diffusiveness will be compromised a little bit. And I say that because alcohol really allows a perfume to evaporate off the skin. So I think a lot of people are kind of assuming or undertaking this childish approach where, oh, look at what it looks like on my hand when I spray it, ha ha ha. So a lot of people are kind of being a little juvenile and puerile when it comes to that. So it does not deserve the criticism because it's a water-based formula. As a matter of fact, if you want to criticize the lack of performance, I think that's a totally different animal, right? Yes, you can do that. And the other thing about this one too is the price. So it's really high priced, right? So it's more expensive than its predecessors. And so I would say for that reason, I think the criticism is warranted, very fair criticism. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't criticize it just because it's water-based. I think it's a very appealing DNA. I've gotten the opinion of several other people and they all say, yeah, it actually smells really good. So I think this is going to be one of those fragrances where a year from now, 2 years from now, people might still criticize it, but a lot more people will come around to it and they will say, you know what, actually it smells really good and I've gotten, you know, good compliments from it and good attention from it. And the several times that I have worn it out in public, I've actually gotten really positive attention from it. So Sauvage Eau Forte by Christian Dior, does it deserve the criticism? Kind of, but a lot of it is unwarranted. Now the next one, criticize this one all you want. This one I'm not a fan of, I have to be honest with you. The flankers, however, are pretty solid. This one by Paco Rabanne is called Phantom. So first of all, the bottle is super kitschy. Second of all, it's called Phantom, but it looks like a robot. Third of all, it's a very simple vanilla fragrance. And it's just, it comes across very youthful. You know, like this is one of those fragrances where it's youthful, but bordering on immature. And if you look at the marketing campaign for this one, and I know there were so many ads being run on this one, it just looks like, okay, you're this young guy, you're going clubbing, you need a wingman, and this robot is going to be your wingman, and he's floating through the air, and it's like, really? So look, I don't think it smells bad. I like the way it smells. But is it going to be my first choice of like, oh, I got to go out there and I need something to wear and what should I wear? Am I going to pick Phantom by Paco Rabanne? No, I'm not. Phantom Parfum, on the other hand, awesome, right? So I like the direction they're going in, but, and it is selling very well. It is, right? Of course, there are other Paco Rabanne fragrances that are also selling very well. This one is selling very well, but at the end of the day, I'm personally not a fan of it. And I would say that if you want to criticize the kitschy presentation, the simplicity of the formula, all of those things are very fair criticisms. Now, this next one, leave it alone. Do not criticize this one, okay? I know a lot of people dislike this one. I love this one. What's wrong with you guys? This is Toy Boy by Moschino. Look, I get it. You want to criticize the bottle, that's fine. A lot of gentlemen will say that, well, because, and I just decapitated the bear, right? A lot of people will say that, well, it smells feminine because it has rose in here. Let me tell you something. When Cartier does it, you leave them alone, right? When Moschino does it, everybody wants to hate. So Cartier has a fragrance called Declaration d'un Soir, which is one of the best designer level rose-based fragrances. And this is a beautiful, beautiful rose-based fragrance. I'm telling you, I love Toy Boy. If you want to criticize the bottle presentation, I get it, right? They're trying to be quirky. They have a bottle that looks like Windex. They have a bunch of other really strange looking bottles. I've owned so many Moschino fragrances throughout the years. Moschino Uomo is another one that has this kumquat ingredient in it. Toy Boy, I think it smells awesome, but I agree. Right? If you're not into floral fragrances, chances are you're not going to purchase this one. In the number 2 spot, people can hate on this all they want. It's the best-selling men's fragrance on the designer side as per the 2023 numbers, Christian Dior's Sauvage Eau Forte. It's no secret. This is a bestseller, and it's a bestseller for a very good reason, because people want to smell like Johnny Depp. I'm just kidding. But this is an amazing fragrance, right? It's great, it's bright, it's citrusy, the bergamot, the black pepper, the Sichuan pepper, the ambroxan. Yes, a lot of people say it smells screechy or metallic in the opening, and I totally understand, and I agree with that. I think this one is a victim of its own success. When I first smelled it, I thought it was boring. I said, wait, that's the new Dior fragrance? That's what they're gonna, put out there? But I wore it and I was getting compliment after compliment after compliment. But the criticism with this one is you're going to smell like somebody's ex-boyfriend, right? So if you want to avoid it for that reason, I get it. Yes, it also kind of smells like an F-boy. I get it. A lot of people will say it's played out or it's overworn, it's overused. I totally understand. But that doesn't change the fact that it's still a bestseller. So in 2023, if you look at the numbers, this was the best-selling men's fragrance on the designer side. And second to that is Bleu de Chanel, except Bleu de Chanel still has a very good reputation, whether you're talking about the Eau de Toilette, the Eau de Parfum, or the Parfum. But I think the Eau de Toilette, for whatever reason, has become a victim of its own success. I think it smells really nice. It's a mass-appealing DNA. It's a compliment-getting DNA. And the performance is pretty decent, but for whatever reason, people don't like it as much as they used to. But in the number 1 spot, this fragrance has been hated for a while now. I hate to say it. I personally like it. It's very nostalgic for me. I can understand why people don't wear this one anymore. They say that it's youthful, it's juvenile, it's immature, it's this typical clubbing scent. You're going to smell like everybody. It's been around for so many years, well over a decade, so many other better options on the market. And look, I agree. I totally agree. But it's one of those fragrances where if you bought it right when it came out and you've made some really good memories with it, and it conjures up some really, fond memories and experiences for you, I think there's still going to be a subsect of people that will continue to wear this one. And they want to activate that nostalgia. And you can't hate on a person for that, right? But it doesn't change the fact that this is one of the most hated fragrances out there. And you've all heard the narrative. People say this one smells like bubblegum, yada, yada, yada. And just by saying that, you already know what it is. 1 Million by Paco Rabanne. I've gone through several bottles of this throughout the years. I bought it right when it came out. And yeah, so this one is very sweet. It's very youthful. And a lot of people argue that this one is kind of on the immature side of things. And I want to hear from you. Do you agree with this criticism? Do you agree that 1 million deserves to be one of the most disliked or one of the most hated fragrances of all time? And of course, with that being said, I think all of these they have something that you can enjoy, right? All of these have their own things about them that make them really good contenders for somebody's next purchase. But, you know, considering the fact that they've either been around for a long time and become a victim of their own success, or they're too simple, or they're too juvenile, or they're too feminine, or they're too questionable as far as their oil is concerned. All of these have received criticism throughout the years, and I want to hear from you. What is your most hated fragrance? Drop your comment down below. It could be your opinion on it could be predicated on anything, the price, the performance, anything at all. I'm always interested in hearing from you. And of course, if you took anything of value from today's episode, I would really appreciate it if you would consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. So thanks again for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.